We just want to show you one of these projects that we've been working on.
No, I'm already rolling. You just start.
Hey, Lauren, shut the hood and get the door. Still got a hesitation. We're going to reach out that carburetor.
Got that right.
Shut the door, it's cold.
Hey, how about your car?
Well, this is my pride and joy. This is the only car I've ever built 100% from scratch. Every nut and bolt on it. It's got a 331 stroker, aluminum heads. It's a pretty wicked motor. It's probably close to 500 horsepower. It's got a built AOD transmission, 410 gears. It's got rack and pinion steering, disc brakes all the way around. It's got Global West suspension. This car here runs and rides and drives as good as any new car on the road. It's very fast, it's very solid, it's fun to drive, and obviously it's beautiful. Even if you don't like Fords, this is a gorgeous car. That's the problem. I mean, I don't really think they care about the car.
Motor out right now at the machine shop.
This is a 74 Trans Am. We're putting a motor in it. It's at the machine shop, getting all the getting the internals balanced and getting the heads reworked. Customer came in and asked for 500 horsepower. We decided that's not a problem with this much motor, so that's what we're going to give him. We should get the motor back next week. Hopefully, I'll be doing a burnout in it within 2 weeks. It's a pretty rare car. 74 model, has a unique back window, and the front end is is specific to this year model. I haven't done much to this car other than what we're doing to it now. He's a good customer. He just hasn't been coming around for very long. This is a 69 Mach 1 that we built. We put a 427 Ford racing engine in it, disc brakes, rack and pinion, serpentine belt setup. It's got a 4-speed in it. This is my kind of car. You can really jam the gears and really light the tires on it. It's got all stock suspension, which makes it a handful when you're pumping 500 horsepower. Sometimes it's hard to keep on the road. Under the hood, we've done all kinds of stainless hoses and a lot of billet aluminum, a lot of things that make it pretty. Wheel wood brakes. We put a hydraulic clutch conversions because it's got a heavy duty clutch and that makes it easier to actuate. We painted the hood black. It's in here now. He wants a shaker hood. We're going to cut the hole in the hood and put the shaker scoop through it. We mounted a tack on the hood for him. My specialty is making cars what the owners want them to be or want them to do. That's what I tell them. I can make your car do what you want it to do. And that's why my customers love me. Over here we've got a 70 model Chevelle convertible. It's an original SS car, but it was originally a 350 motor. We put a really nice 454 in it, big block motor. We gave it the shiny treatment under the hood. It's got all the serpentine pulleys and lots of chrome, lots of aluminum, real nice headers. This car's a lot of fun. It's not my taste. I'm not a Chevy guy, but if I had to have one, this would probably be the one. Coming on back here, one of our biggest projects we've started on in a while. It's still going. We've got a 50 model Fargo, which is a Dodge that was built in Canada. The guy's owned it for several years. He loves the truck, the way it looked, but he hated driving it because it drove like an old tank. So he came in asking what we could do for that. And I said, well, the best thing to do would be take the body that you love and put it on something more modern. So it's sitting on a 2005 Lincoln Aviator chassis. It's got a double overhead cam 4.6, it's 300 horsepower. It's got the 5-speed automatic. It's got independent suspension all the way around, disc brakes all the way around, rack and pinion steering. We're getting pretty close to completing this project. We've been working on it a little over a year. If we had a little better tooling and maybe some more staff, we could have probably completed it a lot quicker. But, you know, that's where we're at with it. On back.
This is one of them that I've been working on and quite a while, and it's really going to be a great street rod. A lot of trucks are street rods in Texas, and this is going to fit right in. It's really going to be a good ride with a lot of horsepower that's going to be very easy to drive. One of the things that we've gotten completed is we've got all the chassis and everything mounted. We just got finished with the bed, and we think that looks really outstanding. The way that we've got the bed and the everything stained and chrome and so forth. I'm working on the taillights right now. We can take a quick gander at the interior. We moved the firewall back about 5 inches, put a whole new firewall in. I built a transmission cover. Seats are out of the Aviator. It's going to be nice. Tilt steering, all new gauges and so forth. While it's not complete yet, we're getting there, and we're really going to be proud of the way this thing runs and works.
Yeah, this is going to be a really fun truck. Awesome. Okay, so on this truck, one thing that I'm sweating a little bit is fuel injected, getting it all running. I don't have a problem wiring it, but the computer's going to have to be specially tuned, and I do not have the capability to do that. So I'm going to have to load it on a trailer and haul it somewhere and get them to tune it so it'll run. I'm kind of dreading that. Making this firewall, we had to do a lot of sheet metal work and some fabrication on some fasteners. I had to have Silas go home and go to a buddy's shop, I guess, and use a lathe. We had to make some spacers for some things. You know, we have a sheet metal brake, but it's not quite big enough. We don't have any way to roll anything. We can't do bead rolls. You know, it just really slows the projects down when we have to cut large pieces of sheet metal without a shear. We have to use an old air nibbler, or, you know, whatever we got. And it really slows us down. And this particular customer is a real nice guy, but he is getting a little anxious. I told him 3 to 6 months, and it's been over a year. Not that we haven't been working on it, it's just we're limited. And sometimes I don't factor our limitations in when I'm talking to customers about big projects like this. What I call the other half of the shop, it's not mine anymore. The overhead is really high here. The rent is terrible. So to compensate that, offset that, when I was struggling the most, I've rented out the space to the man that's standing over there. His name's Ricky. And
hey, Ricky, wave.
Wave, Ricky, to the camera. Wave. Say hi.
Thanks a lot. That's very professional.
It's kind of worked out. Ricky put a paint booth in, and he does upholstery work. He does custom upholstery work, and he and I together have started playing around with some custom paint stuff. This car right here. This is our first attempt at a custom paint job. It's kind of dirty, but it's got a spider web and kind of a carbon fiber look to it. And we're going to do some really neat stuff with the interior and try to sell it and make some money. So we work together really well. I've given up a lot of my space here, though. I used to have a lift sitting here. I used to keep my big for long-term projects in this area. So I've had to condense all my junk over into one side of the shop pretty much. And but like I said, it worked out good because we can offer more services in-house: paint, body, upholstery. Excellent at upholstery, and we're getting better and better at the paint and body every day. This building was originally built to be 2 separate businesses. So this is actually an office very similar to the other one. So it's split exactly half in two with the same 2 big garage doors and 2 offices. That's the way it was originally built, and this is the only time since it was built that it's actually been, in a sense, two separate businesses. I miss my space, but I like not having to pay all the rent by myself. And Ricky brings me work off of his customers, and I bring him work off of my customers. So that part's worked out pretty good. His paint booth, he had to buy it used on the cheap, so it's definitely not the best quality, but he does get the job done. There's a little bit of a learning curve there, but we're getting there. Ricky's wanting us to show off some of his work. He does a lot of work on the golf carts. This is Ricky. Ricky.
Hey, what's up?
And this is some golf cart roofs that he's painted. They turned out really well. And hopefully together we're going to grow to be one of the best custom shops in the area.
Yeah.
With offering complete services across the board. And, you know, we're going to make it or break it, but we're going for gold. Awesome. This is our break room. We got a microwave, a refrigerator, keep the beer cold. And yeah, this is pretty much our break room. There's some storage up there, stairs to go up. I got a lot of my junk up there. A few good things, but mostly it's junk. Some of our most important fabricating equipment is right here. We have a plasma cutter, wire welding. We can do some really good metal fabrication. Lauren and Silas are both really good, very skilled at fabricating. Lauren is the best welder I've ever known. He can weld almost anything and it looks perfect. So we use this stuff a lot. We have a big parts washer back there that works pretty good, except for the chemical in it's very dirty and needs to be changed out. That's a $500 expense that I just haven't been able to justify lately. We have a little throatless shear over here that works okay, but once again, it's more of a hobby grade, not really professional.
On some stuff that we just cobbled together to keep it up off the ground.
Of course, we have a brake blade. Any shop worth its salt has a brake blade. And let's go on over here and see what else we got. Pause.
There you go.
As usual, Buf is clueless. He's trying to tell me what I've missed, but he doesn't know everything I've done.
He didn't tell you that they didn't tell me the video they made earlier this afternoon. I just get left out of everything. Barry Buford, aspiring mechanic. I do what I can to fix cars. Gotta have boss man help me out every now and then, but for the most part, I think I do pretty good.
He tries. You know he's trying because you don't screw anything up if you don't try. Believe me, he's trying.
The box I got done helps me get through the day so that I don't have to rummage through Boss Man's box right here. This box has probably just about a good amount of things you need in it, except for maybe 1/3 of these sockets may be cracked, and it's a mess. Lauren, you come over here, you'll look outside. Every car that you see out here, and a little bit of the hot rods, I'll work on. I don't touch much of the hot rods, but I do the real grinding work. Like the Fords, you got the old Cavi, Dodge or Die, Mopar or no car. That's you know what brand I go for. Then you got the good old Geo, 91 Geo back there.
Okay, show it off. Go show it off.
Oh, show it off?
Yeah.
I can. It's kind of stuff. Pride and
That's
joy.
your, yeah.
All right, I'll show it off. All right, my buddy's car. You know, I got to put a whole new rear end. He's kind of stupid, running into curbs and whatnot. All right, now we're over here. You got the 91 Geo, the Butte. Hey, has anybody got some keys? I got a pocket knife. That'll work.
Here's pocket knife.
All right, this car is $200. 200 bucks off Lone Star Rock. We didn't have a key for it, so we just jacked that ignition off. It's right here now.
got this little one. This is what I bought off Lone Star Auction. It's $575. Whole front end was all smashed in. Working with our other company here, me and them have redone the whole front end, core support, pulled it out, welded a new one in. Hopefully before long it'll have big enough tires I can run over the Geo, and we might be able to get that on video for y'all someday.
And yeah, and
here's the junker parts that were on the front ends. As you can tell, I don't know what they ran into, but they did a pretty good number on it.
And if you'll take a look at this little thing right here, this is a bullet hole, okay? And the story that goes with it is an irate husband. Now, if you'll go all the way up and look at the front, you'll see where it came out.
That's not true.
No, that's not true, but it's a good story. But it was an irate husband.
Hey, while we're back here, let's take a look at another one of my junk piles.
Yeah.
Since Ricky kicked me out of this side of the shop, this is where I have to store all my biggest junk. And this is where we keep our used tires. But we've got the frame that came out of the Fargo. We've got a rolled over Lincoln Aviator that donated the chassis to the Fargo. And we've got a Ranchero sitting there that it's been on my project list for several years now. And I'm really going to have to get started on that. Got some more storage facilities, some bins, our air compressors back here, and trailers, obviously.
And if you'll notice back there in the back, there's mine and Dane's big projects that we want to get and make. 2 Mustangs, 86 is mine, and a 89 GT is his.
I don't think you even see them.
Notice where they're in the project list, way back there at the very back. There probably won't be any time soon to getting them out, but we hope we can get those out. I'm planning on building a 427 or 418 small block Ford going mine. And he's wanting to do a supercharged motor in his. So we'll see if we can get them done anytime soon.